Hello and welcome to EV Car Share. I'm Matt and this is hopefully my final one on tyres. So I've been talking a lot about tyres because that's what I've been doing, obviously. This is my experiences of owning and driving an EV. That is what the whole channel is about. So you kind of expect that whatever happens to come up at the time, that's what I'll be talking about. So we looked at I looked at what tyres I was going to get. Now I will tell you what tyres I did get. So I had them fitted, went to ATS Euromaster. I bought the e-primacies in the end. They were less expensive than the Primacy, or at least they were in what they call the kind of Volvo tyres. So these are the ones that Volvo have specifically specified. Specifically specified? Can you specifically specify something? Anyway, they have specified that work well with their Volvos. I mean, it's a tyre, come on. If it's the right fitting, 235 by 55 R19 for this car. This is the GTL model UK spec, rear wheel drive, with 19-inch wheels. If it's the right specification, the right fit, the right load rating and so on, then it's a tyre, really. So if it's good enough for Volvo, it's good enough for my Kia. So that's what I've got on the tyres. So we're going to have a quick look at them. There's something I want to point out with regard to, first of all, country of origin and also the tread depth when new. These are two things you do not find out when you do your Google searching, when you look on the various tyre fitter websites. They don't list how much tread depth there is from new, and they don't list what the country of origin is. Now obviously tread depth, people will associate that with how long the tyre is going to last. Maybe true, depends how fast it wears as well, doesn't it? But obviously people associate that how long it lasts. Quality, so I would say quality of the tyre people might associate with the origin of the tyre, but then also if you're looking at it from a green perspective, then you might say, okay, I don't want tyres shipping halfway around the world, better if they're European built. Or maybe you're just looking at I prefer to support people like me who live close to me, so you're looking for something made in your own country or looking for something made within Western Europe or whatever, depending on where you're from, of course. So that's what we're going to look at. So we'll get out of the car, have a look at the tyres and have a chat. So here we are outside. This is my front right tyre. I've turned so that you can see the tread pattern and things like that. So as I mentioned, these are Michelin. They are the e-primacy, says down here, and you can see somewhere on here it mentions the weight limits, and it mentions, yeah, down here, made in Germany. So these are made in Germany, not made in France like you might think with Michelin tyres. I picked Michelin, one of the reasons because I thought they would be indeed European made. Michelin used to have a Scotland factory in Dundee. It would have been even better if they're British made, but unfortunately that closed down several years ago. So we're left with German made, which is, I suppose, next best thing, let's say. So onto the tread, let's have a look. So what I noticed when I first had these fitted and put my fingers into the grooves was they seemed to be quite low on tread. Brand new tyres, but they seemed not very deep in tread. So let's just make sure we're at a 0 on the gauge. Put the gauge out, down to the tyre, and we're 6.1, so 6.1 in the centre there, 6.2 my reading there, 5.6 on that shoulder, and 5.6 on that shoulder. So it looks like we are just over 6 in the centre, and we are 5.6 or just over 5.5 on the shoulders. So that's where we stand with the tread. So maybe a bit less than I expected. So those measurements: 6.2 down the centre, 5.6 sorry, on the shoulder of the tyre. As I mentioned, I think that's a little bit less. It seemed to be less than what I'd expect. But then I'm buying a tyre and expecting a certain number of miles, and also obviously for the tyre to grip properly. So if the tyre grips well, if it's not got excessive rolling resistance, if I get the amount of miles that I'm expecting or wanting out of the tyre, then do I really care what the actual tread depth at new is? It's like I remember talking to a colleague some years back about choosing a car, and he was adamant that he wanted a 2-litre engine. And I said to him, well, what does it matter to you what the internal volume is in the engine? Surely you're more interested in how much power it outputs, or even better, how fast the car is 0 to 60, or even better, how it feels when you drive it and you pull out of a junction or you go to overtake. These are the things, these are the actual benefits to you in the end. You don't really care on the exact specification. That's kind of irrelevant. So again, with these tyres, I don't really care what the tread depth at new is, as long as by the time I reach the tread depth of replacing them, I can say, okay, I've had my 45,000, 50,000 miles and all is good. And then I go, they're good tyres, maybe I fit them again next time. Or probably what will happen is I'll try something else, because that's what I like to do, try different things. So that's my summary on that. I just wanted to bring you up to date on the situation. Feel free to add comments if you have opinions, or if you have comments, obviously. If you like the video, then feel free to like. And if you like what I'm doing, want to help the channel along, then please subscribe. As well as subscribing, you can click the little bell icon to get notifications as well, so that you don't miss another video of mine, if that's your preference. So it's been good speaking to you. Hopefully you'll join me again, and I'll talk to you next time.